Alright, here we go. What we're going to have to do, we have 3 cabbages. We have 2 more on reserve here. We need to core it. We'll take off the outer leaves and we'll save those, and we'll take the core out and slice these up and shred them with this into a food grade container before we put it in the crock with the layers and the salt. And then what I'll do is, let's see, I'll just cut this right in the middle. You got to do it carefully. Actually, I think this might do better. There we go. Once you're split open, you want to take the core out right here, because it would take longer to break down in the fermenting process. I'm going to take that out. Set that over there. Chopping this up, pretty nasty. Oh well. Okay, so we have these 2 ready to be processed on here. Let's set those there and I'll work on the other ones. It's pretty dense core there. So what you want to do is try to get cabbages when they're ready to be harvested in the fall, preferably organic from your garden. We grew some cabbages this year in our garden for our Camp Liberty garden, and it was the first year that we did it, and it didn't do very well, so I picked these up at a local farmer's market. Fresh produce, and hopefully next year. I think we had some problems with the white moths larvae on the cabbages that we had in the garden, so we'll have to deal with that next year. It's a little too late by the time we were able to resolve the problem. Okay, so we got 3 cut. We have the halves here, and we're ready to chop them up here. Check in here, grinds it up pretty nicely. Perfect. Okay. Next victim. Here we go. We got all our cabbage. It might be a little bit too much, but we can make coleslaw tonight out of the rest. That was a little bit too large. You don't want any pieces this large in it, so what we'll do is transfer this into the crock in layers, and put our sea salt on each layer and tamp it down with the tamper that we have to break down all the water, and it'll create a brine, with the salt and the juices from the cabbage. Clean crock. I'm taking this size out because you don't want that size in there. Throw it over there. A nice layer here. We'll get some sea salt. And this seems like semi-coarse sea salt, but we're gonna just put a whole bunch. Okay, I got the salt on, I got the tamper. We're gonna start tamping this, breaking down the membranes. Tamp this down again. This is the second layer. You can hear the water a little bit, and you can see it. You give it a few minutes, the water will start rising.
Move the cold stuff from the bottom so you can see the wet cabbage.
Yeah. That's pretty wet. It's really wet. The brine has to be at least 1.5 inches to 2 inches above the sauerkraut or the cabbage. Now it's raining here right now, so that's why we're under the canopy. It might be a little dark, but
can you explain what brine is?
Well, it's the brine is the salt and the water solution that is created by tamping this down, and that's basically what'll ferment. This is our first time doing this, so this is a learning experience for us. I heard it can take 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks to ferment. But the longer you let it sit, well, you have to check also the water or the brine solution and make sure it's not molding or anything like that. And you'll know when the sauerkraut is working and when there's no mold, and when the cabbage actually turns to a yellow brown. And the longer you let it sit, the stronger the sauerkraut is. I don't like weak sauerkraut, so I think we're going to try to let it sit as long as we can. Okay, we have 4 cabbages, large cabbages in here. You can see the brine really starting to take hold here. I'm going to try to clean the sides here. That's really creating some water here. This is good. And then I'm going to let it sit for a little bit. We are in the middle of the storm outside here, so we'll let it sit for a little bit and then we'll put the top on. To the bag with the water, we'll put the weight on and it will seal around what we need, so we don't want any air in there. About 1 inch, 1.5 inches of brine that's on the top. We're going to put the water, the bag on here. That'll be enough weight. Keep that in there, and then we'll seal this or tie it. Here we are, it's Monday. We checked this last Thursday. So it's been, let's see, 9 days. So I'm just going to pull this out and check. It smells good. Looks like it's doing okay. We'll keep it down. Check in 2 or 3 more days. Alright, it's been 17 days since we did this here. And we're going to check it again. See how it's going. There's no slime or anything on the top. I think we could probably. Oh yeah, that's ready. I'm just going to take a sample here of our sauerkraut. Ooh, that looks good. Homemade sauerkraut. A little bit of juice in there. Okay. I'm just going to get a bunch here for us to try.